Hey, welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. Chuck here. We had a vacation last week, so we were gone, no episodes. Look through the list. There's about 127 properties that came on the market or sold or changed price or anything like that. 127 updates while we were gone. And what I was amazed at was how much and just incredible how much these homes are selling for compared to even at the end of last year. And we've seen this trend continue, and just how fast too. So there was a semi that listed at 529, sold for 554, 1900 square foot semi, actually 1860 to be specific. Double garage, detached home, just under 1900 square feet, listed 639. Now, it wasn't that nice inside. There was one last year that was really nice that sold for 662 or something. Anyway, 639 it listed for, sold for 697. Unbelievable. Single car garage, one of them listed 589. Sold for 635. Now that's not every property. There were still properties that sold under, but all of these have now set new markers and new precedents for all of their models. So it's been crazy. There was a 1,400 square foot detached 3-bedroom home, newer, so it's Mattamy Plan 3, and it sold at 590. Unbelievable. And there was a townhouse that listed with a condo right behind. So when you look in your backyard, you see a condo right there, like a fishbowl, listed 475, sold for 550. So unbelievable stuff, just amazing. 649 to 730, $80,000. It's like we're in Toronto. I mean, we see that kind of stuff in Toronto. We don't usually see it in Milton. There right now is a huge demand, and there's just not enough homes out there too. So, and it seems like generally the trend is less is more. If you're willing to kind of stick your neck out a little bit at a lower price, it seems to be that people just jump on it, and you have that auction effect. We're seeing the homes that list a little bit on the high side, kind of sitting there, and I have a feeling if they dropped their price and went really aggressive, they might even leap over their listing price. That's just the funny psychology going on. Okay, so let's get started with today's list. Whenever we do a multi-day list, and these are just 9 that I thought would be worth talking about, it doesn't order them by price. So what I do is I click this column over here, and then they're in nice price order. So my daughter got her yellow belt, and that's exciting too. I'm so sad to miss that. But there will be plenty more Taekwondo belts after that. So let's get started with today's list. Okay, first one up is one at Bristol on Main, which is the name for the buildings at 1340, and I think there's 1350 and 70, 80. So I don't remember the exact numbers. I'll know them if I see them. 254.9 is pretty much entry point. I don't know why they had to do 2 different photos like that. Like the pictures are really, really bad. The clutter in here is, it's brutal. However, one of the things that you probably didn't notice by looking at the pictures, because I didn't when I first saw it, but then I looked at the apartment number in the 4th floor. In the main room, you're actually going to find higher ceilings here too, and that is a premium. And shot the right way, it can really make a huge difference. So you get like a 12-foot ceiling. They mentioned in the description, but I think that if people don't like the photos, they're not even going to make it to the description. Either way, it's a good deal. Really good deal. Now, there's not many 3-bedroom condos out there. It's just something builders don't build them. They'll build maybe a 2-bedroom plus a den, but to have a true 3-bedroom, it doesn't happen often. 81 Millside is really close to downtown. It's a nice location. It's not that hard to get on the highway either. It's not cosmetically what I consider to be perfect, but it doesn't look too bad at all. I mean, you could certainly modernize it by taking some of this stuff down. At least you've got like a laminate floor. There are baseboards. However, heat, hydro, cable TV, all included in your condo fees, which are $671 a month. That sounds high, but these are bigger units too. So I would say that it kind of floats on the same level as 100 mil side in terms of value and what you actually get. My understanding is they did some work in this building too. Substantial work, I think, sometime last year. So anyway, under 300,000, yes, your condo fees are a little bit higher, but overall carrying costs on something like this for a true 3-bedroom condo, I still think this is a good option. When you look at what's selling in the new area, I mean, townhouses are going for like 1,400 square foot townhouses are going for 480, 490 now. So 459, you're getting a semi-detached on Beaver Court on a 145-foot lot. You could fit 2 Mattamy lots on that size of property. Inside, it's not quite as open concept, but it's got a decent kitchen here. And you've got 3 bedrooms upstairs. You're losing a lot of times with the newer townhouses. You get 2 bathrooms upstairs. This one just has 1. And you've got a decent basement too, and you've got a nice yard for kids to play. I think this one's really, really good. And I've seen semis that sold even last year, and we already talked about how much different this year is compared to the end of last year. I wouldn't be surprised if this one, I think if anybody got it for less than $475, they're going to be laughing, especially in a few months. Now this one on Shortreed must have sold, but then the deal fell through. So when I was looking at it, I thought, wow, this is a really nice price. Emery model, 1,370 square feet. Plus a finished basement, and done really well. Now, while I was gone, this exact floor plan on I would say a comparable street, not nearly as nice as this, and without the finished basement, sold in the high 480s. So same thing with this one, and green space behind. There's a park right behind here. Like, I think if anybody paid, based on some of the other sales recently, if anybody paid even $490 for this, it's arguable. Like, now this one's purposefully underlisted, but the unfortunate thing is when the deal fell apart, it's very hard to regain momentum. You never get that same snap as you do when you first list. So the lesson there is when you're taking multiple offers, it doesn't matter what offers on paper, you've got to ask questions as a seller and as a seller's agent. What do the buyers do for a living? How much down payment are they putting in? You've got to know this stuff, because stuff like that happens all the time in the market, where a buyer would come in and they can't actually buy the house. And what's really sad is when you find that out the day before closing. And in multiple offers, a lot of times people take their financing condition out. You've got to really know who you're dealing with. You don't want to get involved with a lawsuit, because the only people that win are the lawyers. Now again, detached home, like 18 something square feet, just sold at $635. There was another over 2,000 square foot detached home sold at $650 with a single garage. Rottenburg, it would have been nice to show it's detached with a single car garage. It shows it on the last shot. I think that should have been the first one. Inside, it's really nice. It's 1962 square feet. It's called a Shortreed model, built by Mattamy. And it's a nice looking home. It's presented well. Double sinks in the master is a smart upgrade. Based on what else is out there, this one seems like a fantastic deal. Even though I don't love Savaline as a street to live on, $649 for a double car garage, over 2,000 square feet. Given what else has happened in the marketplace, this is 2,051 square feet, 3 bedrooms plus a loft upstairs, dark kitchen cabinets. I think they've got I think they're in a good place. I think they could very well sell for this kind of price. And again, somebody who buys anywhere near this price, I think is going to be laughing in 30 to 60 days even. Chambers Place, $859. It is a halt whistle model, Mattamy, 2725, I think, square feet. I just sold one last year. It's in good shape. It's really well done. The 9-foot ceilings make a huge difference in this model. I think the thing that's going to really accelerate this one is, I don't know why they didn't finish the basement ceiling. I think it would have looked a lot better. Here's the example I use with basements. If you're 80% of the way done, people are probably going to give you 50% of the value for your basement. So doing that, spending the last few $1,000s on the basement to have it full and complete, I think makes a huge difference. That's it right there. Pool, and it looks like a bit of a pie-shaped lot as well. I think that's the key to pushing this one up to this kind of price point. We saw a couple at the end of last year. This price range, 700 to 900, was really, really hurting at the end of last year. A couple sales have kind of moved it back into momentum. So Chambers is a fantastic street. It's the kind of street where kids can play street hockey, and there's very little traffic. You do not go on Chambers unless you actually live there or you're visiting someone. It's not a through street. It's a very nice, quiet cul-de-sac that comes off of Lancaster. Okay, Ennisclare, 1.18. Ennisclare is, I mean, it's a little far out. I mean, you definitely feel like when you're driving there, like, hey, are we here yet? Which is not the feeling you want after a long day of work. But they've got nice finishes. For what else? There was a lot of listings on Ennisclare last year. For some reason, they all just kind of came out at the same time. I have a feeling the age of these homes, I have a feeling a lot of them, the kids are kind of growing up now. Some of them are probably leaving for school. Like, it's like the teenagers. That's the kind of demographics I think we've seen on this street. And the pool, the size of the home, I think altogether the size of the land, 3.6 acres, so it's bigger than a lot of the estate subdivisions. Plus you get shared ownership over 90 acres of land. Here's how much it costs you, less than $200 a year, which is pretty cool. I like the price point here. I think this is priced to sell quickly, and in order to sell in the country, I think you purposefully have to underlist to get any kind of momentum to sell, even within 3 to 6 months. The last up is 5163 Derry, not far from town, and this is all escarpment protected. It's NEC. So you want to check the rules about them, what you can actually do to rebuild. But why would you rebuild the Godfather's house? Like, look at this. This is, crazy. This has got arches and 4-car garage, and it definitely, I don't know, to me, needs some work inside. I mean, you're going to come in and probably spend $300-400K and maybe make a dent in this one. But it's got a super location close to town. The views are really nice. You're super close to the escarpment. And there you go. I mean, you're basically buying for the size of the building, and 17.5 acres too. Like, you're really, the land value on that is probably $1 to $1.5 million just on 17 acres. Forgetting about the shell of the house that you'd eventually turn into something pretty sweet. Okay, so that's the list. Those are my 9 favorite properties. Tried to pull out the best deals and the coolest different properties. And my advice to you, as I said before I left for vacation, this year is going to be bananas. Okay, so if you get in on something early, even if you overpay by a little bit, it's the nature of the game right now. It's sad to say, but it's just things are selling so quickly and for so much more than anything else is sold for. That's the game if you're going to be a buyer. So anyway, we'll see you tomorrow with more Milton Daily Homes. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.